So this is finally happening after a long time of saying that this would happen, and I never did it. Kia ora. Welcome to my podcast. If you don't know who I am, which is very unlikely because if you're watching this, you know who I am. My name is Sophie, and I'm starting this wee little project that I hope to sustain over the summer and over the course of the year and beyond, but we'll take it one step at a time. You may be wondering, Sophie, why are you starting this? Aren't there so many people already with equipment such as cameras and microphones and laptops who are already doing the same thing? Why add your own voice to the masses? I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this to garner a lot of views and to shoot myself up into celebrity status or anywhere near to that. This is something that I'm starting because I've always wanted to and because I can. I have been graciously gifted by God the gifts of expression. You know, I have a variety of means of which I'm able to express my thoughts and feelings and life experiences for one, I've got my performing arts going on. I'm a performing arts student, if you didn't know, which again is unlikely that you didn't know that. Yeah, so I, singing, acting, and dancing, and I express myself there. I'm also quite skilled, if I say so myself, and if I believe the words of those who have read my works. I'm skilled at writing, specifically in poetry and journal entries and essays. And I've learned more how to express myself through those where singing, acting, and dancing do fail to completely allow me creative license, so to speak. Then that begs the question, if all that, why still this? I'm really proficient at yapping. I love to talk, and I love sharing my opinions, my very opinionated opinions, and very thoughtful thoughts with people, and I like conversing with people. And of course, I like listening to what people have to say, but if I had to admit it, I'm much more of a talker than a listener. That is gradually changing, which is why this exists, because as I grow older and mature, I want to listen to people more when I am in conversation with them, especially people who are very different to me in how they think and how they process things and how they live their lives. And this podcast is born out of my wondering, where do all of the things I want to say, but not necessarily directly to other people in our conversations, like where can it all go? Yes, I journal about them, but my journaling is something that I'm still working and struggling with as a very personal and internal thing. Also struggle in this point in time to really express all of my emotions on paper. If I'm not writing poems, then it's hard for me to say how I feel. And poetry, it definitely gives you a means to express your emotions, but when I have to actually write it down, what I'm feeling in plain, simple text, I struggle. And that's what a lot of people have done in journaling that I haven't been able to follow. And instead, I journal about my reviews on media I consume, about the ongoings of politics and social issues and my take on them, my findings on studies and observations that I make or I read up on. I've only really started getting back into writing about my day-to-day life recently. So this is also a way for me to express things in a way that does include all the research and rhetoric and outlining that comes really natural to me, but also to tap into my wellspring of experiences and my feelings about those experiences and marry those together so that when the opportunity arises for me to talk about such things with the people around me, maybe I'll be better equipped to actually express myself eloquently. Yeah, this is also an exercise in connecting my cerebral with my emotional and with my experiential. As a result of that, I will be talking about a lot of topics that may seem like video essay topics, but that I have had experience with and how I feel about it. And with that, here are a bunch of future topics that I want to talk about, that I'm very passionate about. The first one I actually want to talk about, like, as the first proper episode of my podcast. I want to talk about my experience as a performer and a performing arts student, because my whole life has kind of been shaped by that. I'm not me without performing, but, you know, like, does my identity lie in that or in something else? And is that just a part of me, or is that the whole of me? And then my experiences in performing and studying performing and writing about performing, in etc., 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 and where that may lead me in the future. As for the next one, I don't know yet, because this was such a spontaneous start to this channel and this series. I just have bullet points of future stuff that I want to do, but I definitely do want to talk about the political nature of art, and how art is inherently political. That's a point that that's the whole statement. Art is inherently political. Taking it a little bit of a turn from that, I did also want to talk about movie reviews and just kind of share the kind of movie reviews I've written, because they're really funny, but they're also really relatable according to people who have read those reviews. You know, list my favorite movies on the planet, which I do have up on my Letterboxd, but none of you should be following my Letterboxd. If you do, I'm sorry. As for the future topics, I'm not really sure, because I want to open this up to be a podcast with my friends. I already have lined up my dear friends Caleb and Jenny, and they will be the first two that I have on here. Shout out to Caleb and Jenny if you're watching this. I do know that with Caleb, we will be talking about men, masculine energy, and how they present in spaces of art. And then with Jenny, we have yet to decide, but I'm sure that'll be a very, very chaotic episode, because we're like two brain cells. We are literally just two brain cells spitting out facts, straight facts. So keep an eye out for those. But yeah, as you can see, that a lot of my topics will be very focused on art-related things. So moving into housekeeping reminders, not rules, because I don't really operate by rules, rather what is helpful and unhelpful. at least in my personal space, touching on what I just previously said, which I've just forgotten. Housekeeping. Oh yes, feel free to comment or to DM me suggestions on topics for this podcast. I don't really want to talk about things I don't have experience or knowledge on, but if there's something that I have the capability to research about, I'm referring more to the STEM side of things that I'm a little bit intimidated by, but I'm more than willing to crack down on and talk about my, and share my feelings and opinions on. Does that make sense? If you think that I'd be relatively okay at talking about this topic, share the topic with me. It's summer. I don't have much to do. I have a lot of stuff to do, actually, but I have a lot of time and energy to grow this podcast into, and nurture this podcast into something that can accommodate everybody who's watching and listening. And let me check what I put on my phone. That's pretty much all for now. I'll be uploading every Monday or Tuesday, I believe, until school starts. Then I think I have to rethink about that. Rethink that schedule. But welcome. We finally did it. And I'm so excited to see where this goes. Oh yeah, bye.